What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit a million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
In Georgia, a man is located a month after he went missing, and you will not believe where he is tragically found. In Texas, a grand jury has convened to investigate the actions of police, or inactions in my view, and Woody has that story. And Mike has some more news regarding the most dangerous square mile in America. These stories and more coming at you today, Friday, January 26th on Real Life Real Crime Daily. And I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agavino. Boys,
What's up?
big weekend this weekend.
up?
Well,
big weekend.
Big weekend.
Let's not skip over Friday.
Well, Friday's part of the weekend. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
but
talking about.
Friday is also the favorite day of the year for Smokey.
Smokey, the
Yeah,
Bandit.
you know, Friday, Smokey, the movie. You never seen Friday? Ice Cube?
Oh, yeah.
Smokey?
Smokey.
What?
When
You
he's-
guys- I'm
when he's
totally
running-
lost.
When he's running down
Well,
the
you've seen Friday.
Yeah,
What do you mean I've seen Friday? A movie called Friday?
yeah. Oh, come on,
Mike,
man.
you've never seen Friday?
Freaky Friday?
No, not Freaky Friday. Friday with Ice Cube.
How you get fired on your day off?
I've never,
And Debo?
I've never heard of that.
Oh,
Wait,
my God.
Give me a year. Around what year?
Probably in the mid-90s.
Yeah,
like that.
mid-90s.
And I love when they smoke a lot of weed, right? And they gave him the weed to smoke, and they lace him with PCP, and they show him who's running down the street in his drawers, just looking for chickens.
Dude, that
and
is
shit.
a classic.
that
comedy.
movie went in the same black hole as Eastbound and Down for me. I never.
Oh,
Well,
you got to
we-
check that out. This
We have a
weekend.
different taste, obviously. You're probably watching some.
No, well, you guys.
British-
I mean, when you guys invited me.
It's just a British special.
Well, you guys
007.
invited me, whatever it was, 4 months ago to go see Barbie for the third time with you.
Oh, my
I
God.
couldn't.
Yeah, that happened.
So we do have different taste in these things.
Oh yeah, definitely different taste.
Okay.
But it's also Freaky Friday.
Yes, it is.
That was Jamie Lee Curtis was Freaky
Jamie
Friday.
Lee Curtis. Boy, she was
Smoke show.
Yep.
Halloween,
All natural smoke show.
the original Halloween.
Yeah. So she's still a smoke show.
True Lies.
True Lies, underrated Arnold movie.
Yeah. I think that was a good one. All right, but you know what? We came here to get
No,
these.
you're getting.
We got to go back
so
to
much crime. We
because
got tons to talk.
I already know what's coming. I'm gonna go on the record and say, Jim Chapman, I still owe you $40, so we might as well roll it out the next couple of weeks.
Are you gonna give him some kind of a credit plan? Yeah, some kind of a pay over time schedule or
he's getting
something.
the big on it, but it's going to balance out this weekend anyway, probably.
Okay, well,
So,
we
first
follow
one-
as an Italian, we follow the fast pay, fast friends thing, because
I
if
guess
you wait 3 days, you might wake
tried to
up
give
with a
him-
horse in your
I
bag.
tried to give him
know?
a case of beer out of the bed of my truck the other day, but it was
That
wet.
didn't-
Yeah.
That didn't cover it. No,
No, not for $40. But anyway, so let's get it out of the way because the female listeners can't stand this part. The Baltimore San Fran, who you taking?
Oh, Baltimore's not playing San Fran.
Well, then don't take
So
them.
I'm not taking either.
That's one way Woody will win.
That's Woody's Super Bowl.
San Fran, Detroit. Who you taking?
I'm going with my heart. I want the Lions.
I'm going San Fran all the way.
I'm going San Fran as well.
Yeah, well, they're probably going to win, but
All
I
right.
got to root.
So Baltimore and KC.
KC.
It's already rigged.
Right.
It's already rigged. They got to have Taylor's got to be at the
understand
Super
that.
Bowl. They've got to get shots of her. She's going to be a surprise guest during the halftime show. That's the way they really get this done with the NFL is she gives a little whisper because it's Usher that's doing the halftime show. Little whisper that she'll come out and do a duet with
that
Usher.
Halftime show means to me is I'm going outside to gaze at the stars and turn the steaks.
Well, but for the NFL, it means
gazing at the stars is right.
It means tens of millions.
My daddy taught me that when I was a little boy, and we went out. He went outside. He had a couple highballs, and he went outside, and I followed him outside. I said, "What are you doing, Daddy?" So I'm gazing at stars. They were urinating.
Oh, okay.
I'm gazing at stars. So halftime is what I do for that, or I get up and get another beer.
Okay, but are you rejecting my NFL conspiracy theory here?
Yes.
It's
just like Dallas. You failed.
Okay. But no, they just sucked so bad that nobody could help them win that game.
I'm just messing with you.
But
I don't care anything about the skinny little girl.
Well, neither do I. But she's got something like 80 million followers.
Okay, well, you know what? She don't have.
I mean, she could be the future of the NFL
kitchen.
as Swifties watching games.
Yeah, maybe so.
And the referee who's been assigned to that game.
Yeah, I saw that part.
Yeah. Always
every time I bet against Baltimore, I always lose. So this time I'm going against my own judgment, but and I'm taking Baltimore.
Well, I want them to win because I want Lamar to win. I want Lamar to win the Super Bowl and get the legitimacy he deserves. Yeah. But okay, enough. I know you're. So I don't want a note from Ruthie on this.
You and I are same on San Fran,
right?
And then
we'll write scores down later.
You and I
because we got to do scores.
Baltimore, and he's taking KC.
Yeah.
All right, good deal. Now, let's give the lifers what they came for, some true crime time for Friday.
We're going to Georgia, and the body of a man missing for weeks has been found stuffed inside a chimney of a Georgia house he was renting. I told you wouldn't believe it.
He was being a
Santa suit.
Was he being a chimney sweep?
Well, he's dead, y'all. So I'm not going to make too much fun of him.
No, I mean, that was a legit question.
Well, I'm going to get to that. Bibb County Sheriff's deputies say that the body of Anthony Rumblick, 43, who had been missing since late December, was found last Friday, wrapped in a blanket and stuffed in the chimney of a house in Macon. Rumplick's roommate said he noticed a ladder leaning up against the house on Friday, climbed the ladder, and saw a blanket in the chimney. The condition of the body indicates that Rumplick had been dead several weeks. Rumplick's family from Ohio had recently visited Macon to search for him. His sister said she last heard from Anthony on December 28th. She said he ended up in Macon after his motorcycle broke down there on a trip to Florida last year. Okay. Rumlick's Macon landlord reported him missing after finding the door to his rental house open and concluding that was suspicious. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation will conduct an autopsy, but deputies say they continue to investigate the case as well. At the time of the search, Marlo Rumplick had criticized the sheriff's department for not doing enough to look for her brother, saying they regarded him as just another drug addict. Marlo Rumplick said her brother was a schizophrenic and suffered from kidney failure. She said he had been homeless for a time in Macon and repeatedly hospitalized.
Well, it could still go to my theory. You want to clean out his chimney, just wrap himself in a blanket because then have a bunch of paper towels or something. But you know what?
But
I've searched 1,000 homes, and I don't think I've ever looked up the chimney. So I can't blame the cops for it.
Yeah. I mean that's pretty good. What are you doing?
And you see the ladder. I mean, you can't shove them from the inside because they have the
no, he went up on the roof and tried to go down like Santa Claus.
Yeah, it's top down.
Yeah, but he was wrapped in a blanket.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He had to be on some kind of drug.
Or somebody killed him, but I don't know why they'd kill him and take him out and then shove him down the chimney from the top.
Lift him all the way.
And then leave the ladder sitting there. That wouldn't be.
I don't know. The
ladder.
So that's suicide?
Well, people leave heads and hands in freezers and then they move out of the house. They could leave a ladder.
I think it was a bad trip, man. And that dude was thinking about Santa Claus because it was Christmas time. And I wonder if I can go down the chimney.
Yeah.
And probably... tried to do it.
That is a hell of a story.
Maybe had a blanket because it was cold.
Hell of a story. The fact that I've never even heard of such. I mean,
yeah, you don't see that every day.
You think I was an all-knowing deaf person, but I never heard that one.
It's crazy. Bizarre story.
Well, now this one, that is a bizarre story. This one, I think, touches everybody's heart. And a grand jury has been convened to investigate the Robb Elementary School mass shooting in Uvalde, Texas, that resulted in the deaths of 21 people back on May the 24th of 2022. And I think we all remember this, right?
It's that long
Can you
ago.
believe this?
It seems like
right?
it was a couple of months.
And so the county district attorney, Christina Mitchell, said that a grand jury was convened to review the evidence and weigh in on possible charges related to the deaths of 19 children and 2 teachers at the school. And according to the local paper, there were some 300 people summoned to appear in the court, but only 67 actually showed up. Yeah, this is a real deal. Some judges are really sticklers about it. And when you get your jury summons and people just don't show up, I've actually gone out to people's houses and job sites and arrested them and brought them to the courtroom before the judge say why you didn't show up. So do your civic duty. But anyway, they will serve on a trial which is expected to last at least 6 months. And that's probably why a lot of them didn't show up. While state code prohibits disclosure about the focus of the grand jury, DA Mitchell told the Uvalde Leader News that she has been committed to protecting the integrity of the Texas Rangers investigation and to present the investigation to the Uvalde County grand jury. You do not want to mess with the Texas Rangers. I've worked at the FBI, U.S. Marshals, whatever. I have more respect for the Texas Rangers than
well, I think in this thing, the DOJ is coming hard after the Texas Rangers.
Texas Rangers are badasses, okay? They deserve to make the show about Walker, Texas Ranger. But anyway, the Texas Rangers investigation to which she refers said a suspended ranger should not face repercussions for his actions after the Robb Elementary shooting, and also provided new details of the widespread misinformation between officials during the response. However, the Department of Public Safety, which oversees the Texas Rangers, terminated that ranger, whose name is Christopher Ryan Kendall, for not conforming to department standards during the response to the massacre. DPS Director Stephen McGraw signed the termination letter. Additionally, the letter said Kendall took no steps to influence the law enforcement response toward an active shooter posture, and that constitutes a failure to perform your duty competently. Kendall's termination is still pending, despite the DPS letter. And that's because the DPS determination went against the recommendations of the chief and assistant chief of the Texas Rangers, whose investigation found there was a lack of evidence to suggest Kendall should have acted differently. The Rangers claim that there is no proof Kendall failed to recognize and make inquiries to determine the situation, or that his decisions constituted negligence or incompetence. Historically, the norm in these kinds of situations has been the DPS would defer to not go against its top leaders' recommendations. Now, the United States Department of Justice has released a critical incident review analyzing law enforcement response to the tragedy. The DOJ report states that police officials who responded to the deadly Uvalde, Texas elementary school shooting waited far too long to confront the gunman, acted with no urgency in establishing a command post, and communicated inaccurate information to grieving families. The report identifies cascading failures in law enforcement handling of the massacre. The report catalogs a sweeping array of training, communication, leadership, and technology problems that federal officials say contributed to the crisis lasting far longer than necessary. All the while, the report says terrified students inside the classrooms called 911 and agonized parents begged officers to go in. Had law enforcement agencies followed generally accepted practices in active shooter situations and gone right after the shooter and stopped him, lives would have been saved and people would have survived. That's what the Attorney General said, y'all. The Uvalde victims, he said, deserve better. So now the grand jury will be tasked with reviewing all the various reports and deciding whether and to whom any charge will be brought. And DA Mitchell says she's committed to protecting the integrity of the Texas Rangers investigation, but you got both DPS and DOJ investigations that reach dramatically different conclusions. Now, let me back up to what I said. Everyone that I worked with, Texas Rangers, man, badasses, right? And I'm talking about like ultimate professionals. I've seen them testify in murder trials. I've worked with them in murder cases, and they were just the best of the best. And that's a very prestigious deal. And I have a lot of DPS in Texas is not like Louisiana where you have state police and then a separate DPS. DPS oversees state police and the Texas Rangers, and I have a lot of good friends in both departments. I don't know what this guy did or didn't do, and I guess it's going to come out, but I guess it's like I always say, there's good and bad in every profession. I would hate to think that this Texas Ranger was a wuss. Yeah.
I would hate to think that too.
Yeah.
Well, 19 kids and the length of time that it took before. Yeah. And I think wasn't it border agents that ultimately decided to charge in?
I know that everybody responds, and I can remember when we did our very first active shooter training after what was the Columbine? We changed our SWAT team and everybody. We trained everybody to go and eliminate the threat where we used to use hostage negotiators, set up perimeters and all that. But after Columbine,
and that's law now, right?
Yeah.
That is law.
I don't know if it's law, but it's in every policy and procedure manual. Shit is unfortunate. We live in a world where we even have to talk about this.
No, I agree 100%. But I'll tell you my opinion. I think it was disgusting what the response was to that shooting.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was the ranger as opposed to local law enforcement, and I don't know what's happened there with the local stuff. But this is, you had 21 people die, 19 kids die. It's a blame game, and DOJ taking a very hard stance and getting involved in this thing.
Yeah,
so.
Well, there will be if that dude was wrong, they're not going to cover up for him. They have too much integrity and history.
Well, we'll see what comes back from the grand jury.
Yep. Hey, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement. It's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts to spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
Okay, so let's go back to Oakland, where I just want to follow up to the story.
You're actually going to do a story on U.S. soil?
I am not only going to do a story on U.S. soil. I promise you that.
Is Oakland on U.S. soil?
Unless Canada wants to annex it, which I don't think they do. I am going to Friday and Monday. I am all USA.
Oh, you must have got some complaints.
I told my son I would do it in honor of my grandbaby Jane's first birthday.
Hey, happy birthday, grandbaby Jane.
Grandbaby Jane having a big party for her birthday.
That's awesome.
But as you probably remember, I shared that crimes were being committed primarily at these 3 gas stations and an In-N-Out burger location in Oakland that were all within a perimeter around Oakland Airport. So yesterday, In-N-Out announced that it is closing. In-N-Out Burger
I want you to clarify that.
That it is closing that location in Oakland.
That's correct.
We've heard about Target locations, Nordstrom locations, entire malls, et cetera, mainstay businesses shutting down in the Bay Area. But those shutdowns are primarily related to financial challenges. Foot traffic disappears because of crime in the area. They can't get customers in the store. They're not making sales.
No longer profitable.
Yeah.
This In-N-Out location has always been and still is highly profitable. So this is a decision the company is making that is not financially driven.
Correct.
If you don't live in a market with an In-N-Out, and so 20 years of living in California, I can tell you a lot about In-N-Out. You have to trust me when I say that it's not just another fast food joint. It's an institution. It's an iconic presence throughout the state of California and really throughout the West Coast.
It really is equivalent of like a Chick-fil-A. It's special. What they do is special, just in their own way.
Yeah.
And I went to one in Vegas, and it really was fire.
And the thing about it that's so crazy is whenever you go, it doesn't matter what time of day you go there, there's always a line of 10 to 25 cars in the drive-thru. But you get through it in 5 minutes. I mean, they have got it locked in. Same like
Chick-fil-A. They fastest.
They just race you through it. Yep. And one of the things that's really cool is when you're in that drive-thru, the whole process is transparent. So it's all glass around where the workers are preparing the foods. Yeah. So you actually see them grab the potato out of the bin, slice it, and then cook. So you're following your fries as they're and
you're getting hungry
as they're getting prepared for you.
Like, I wish I ordered.
They never freeze anything. It's all fresh meat. So and they, like all of these places, they have a secret sauce. But I swear the secret sauce is addictive, especially to teens. I mean, they will they buy it separate. You can pay and buy the sauce separate, and tons of people do that and bring it home. And Cane's is. I think Cane's has modeled a lot of what they're doing off of In-N-Out's success. I've read that anyway, but so
or vice versa.
So the process is transparent. Well, I think In-N-Out's been around a lot longer than Cane's, so it would probably. But anyway, This In-N-Out location in Oakland is the only location in the entire history of this company to close down. They've never closed a restaurant. So the COO said, we've made the decision to close our In-N-Out Burger location in Oakland, California, due to ongoing issues with crime. This is Danny Warnick, who's the COO. Despite taking repeated steps to create safer conditions, our customers and associates are regularly victimized by car break-ins, property damage, theft, and armed robberies. This location remains a busy and profitable one for the company, but our top priority must be the well-being of our customers and associates. We cannot ask them to visit or work in an unsafe environment. Once the store closes on March 24th, employees can either transfer to another In-N-Out location or receive a severance package. So one of the reasons it's a great company and loved by customers and the people that work there is they treat their people well. Though In-N-Out is closing its only Oakland location, they're also opening a bunch more in Northern California. But the In-N-Out closing in this location in Oakland is for one reason only, according to Congressman Kevin Kylan. Of course, he's right. It's because of out of control crime.
That's crazy. Absolutely. And let's talk about this for a minute, guys. And Mike's absolutely right. And we kind of screw with him sometimes because he picks on Oakland so much. But I got real curious, and Oakland's got some problems.
No shit.
And I'm going to give you some stats here. In regards to Oakland specifically. So crime in Oakland in 2023 versus 2022, robbery was up 37%. They actually had over 3,627 cases. Burglary was up by 24%. Motor vehicle theft, get this, 45% jump in 1 year.
Yeah.
In 1 year. Which it equated to 14,554 cars stolen. That is an all-time record. But I wanted to compare that to the national average. Right. So, okay, Oakland's got crime problems, but how does that relate to, the national average of these other cities? And this is per 100,000 people. In Oakland, the total number of daily crimes is up 2.81 times more than the California average and almost 4 times more than the national average.
Wow.
That is what speaks volumes to me. Look, everybody knows California has crime problems, but in Oakland specifically, almost 3 times the crime problem of the rest of the state and almost 4 times the crime problem of the national average. Yeah, it really is. So the question is why? Why do you think that is? So I dug a little deeper. California is known to have kind of a homeless problem, and I believe that crime specifically relates to the lack of opportunity for people. Yeah. The more people you have in a community that are hurting financially, the more crime you're going to see. There's a direct correlation there.
As it always has been.
Correct. They're the 7th highest homeless rate in the country. As far as the top 25 cities. Believe it or not, California has 4 in the top 10, but Oakland in particular has, get this, for every 1,000 people, 22 are homeless. Jeez. And their growth rate just from 20 to 23, from the year 2020 to 2023, 20%.
What?
They have increased 20% in 3 years.
That's a huge part of the problem.
I mean, because a lot of it is, and I'm not knocking on homeless people. There's great people that just fell on hard times.
You're not.
Fell on hard times, but there's a lot of them are.
If you're homeless, you're going to do what you have to do to eat.
Absolutely.
Well, and look, honestly, our immigration policies or our lack of immigration enforcement, tons of those people have come into the state of California. Tons of jobs have been taken away from citizens of the United States, who are, some of them, falling into homelessness as a result of that. We have all of these things compounding on top of each other and making California the most have-not state in the country. You can go in the course of 3 miles from $5, $10, $15 million homes to absolute desolate ghetto circumstances. It's it is crazy, and those elitists in that state that create the laws that somehow win the votes every time. I mean, there's basically there's a ruling class in the state, and they contribute in a huge way to these problems.
Okay, but the point I was trying to make was just the correlation between the homeless rate and the crime, not really the politics side of it. But on the other side of that, you have like Washington, D.C., who has actually done a complete flip. I would advise Oakland to call Washington, D.C., because they have actually went down 23% in their homeless rate. At 7.3 per 1,000 now. They were above 14 just a few years ago.
That's crazy.
Per 1,000. So Washington, D.C. is doing something right, where Oakland is doing something way wrong.
Well,
but you've got to get a handle on that.
Look, they have attacked this issue, I mean, especially in California, with policies that have massively failed. Year after year after year, election after election after election.
There's no doubt there's a political end to it. But whatever they need to do, anybody looking at this from the outside would say start with this problem and work your way out. Because as a city of Oakland, if you're on that city council, right now you're trying to figure out how to fix this before all your businesses leave. That's the first thing I would say is we have to address it.
Well, you got to attack drugs. If you're going to do that, you got to attack drugs.
Well, the problem with that is the business leaves, the tax base leaves, and the police get downsized even more. So
that's a good point.
It's a whole hairy ball of wax. Right?
Vicious cycle.
Hairy ball of wax.
Well, they got issues. There's no doubt.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I bet you could buy a house for cheap in Oakland.
You're probably right.
Well, only in certain areas. I mean, there's also some very nice areas.
Let me phrase that. You could buy a house for cheap close to that.
Yeah, in the city.
Thieving Mile or whatever it's called.
Right. All right. Well, let's get out of Oakland and let's go to Florida. How about that?
Pinellas County?
No, Port Charlotte. Port Charlotte. So we're going to tell you about a crazy issue that occurred in a Walmart there. And moments after finding a lost cell phone in a Walmart bathroom, a Florida man used that device to call 911 and claim there was a bomb in the store. Police say the suspect later confessed that he had previously seen TikTok videos showing similar fake threats, and he decided to make one himself. So he goes to the bathroom. He sees a phone that somebody obviously left on the sink, and he says, and I guess it wasn't locked, and he says, I'm going to call in a bomb threat, record it from my phone, and put it on TikTok because they'll never know it was me, right?
Seems like a good idea.
Brain surgeon.
That's called swatting these days.
So police respond to that Walmart in Port Charlotte, Florida, after the man called in the bomb threat. When the police dispatcher dialed the number from which the threat was placed, the suspect says, "Tick-tock, tick-tock," before hanging up again. So after the phone's owner,
dumb criminal.
Yeah, after the phone's owner told cops he had left the store, a review of the surveillance footage showed another man entering the bathroom moments before the 911 call was placed. The second man departed the store as police were arriving. Cops quickly identified the suspect as Cody Clemens, 28, who lives about 10 miles from that Walmart. After being read his rights, Clement reportedly confessed to seeing a cell phone in the stall and decided to make the prank 911 call. Cody states he regrets his decision. I'm sure he does. And realizes he made a bad decision. Now, Clements was charged with making a false report about planting a bomb, which is a second-degree felony, actually.
Gotta be, yeah.
And was released from county jail on a $15,000 bond and ordered by a judge to have no contact with any Walmarts. So not only did you get
banned from Walmart
in a shitload of trouble with the police, you can't go to Walmart anymore,
forever and ever.
So I wonder what happens. Do sirens go off when he enters a Walmart?
Hey, you better believe they got the pictures posted, and then their loss prevention guys were watching. Hey, speaking Speaking of Walmart, Tubman, Wisconsin. That's where I go when I go up there.
Yeah.
My brother from another mother, Shane, he sent me a story, and I forgot to get to y'all. They had somebody that went into Walmart, walked right into the sporting goods section, and got a length of rope, and then walked right to the hardware section and got a ladder and draped it over something and hung themselves.
Oh my God! Are you
right?
An employee or just
no, just a customer. I hope that doesn't become a trend at Walmart too. Walmart's got some pretty interesting stuff that goes on.
That's
you go. I like to go. If I go to Walmart, I go on the People Watch.
Well, if you think about it, with that number of stores nationwide and the traffic they get, it's a big city when you combine. I mean, Walmart is a big city every day.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a lot of shit that's going to go on in Walmart and the Walmart
you go back
parking
to
lot.
Jim's stats on, I was thinking that when you were saying like 1,000 people or whatever, Walmart sees way more than 1,000 people a day.
Oh,
yeah.
Sure.
Think about that. So,
well, I got some banjos for Cody.
Yeah, he's pretty stupid.
That was not the things, but the things people will do for TikTok videos.
Oh, it's
I mean, how many
It's
times do we
stupid.
cover that stupidity?
Right, it's absolutely outrageous. Well, I tell you, this story is not social media; it's good old fashioned letter writing.
Really?
Remember the days of penmanship? Much mine has always sucked. But they say it's a sign of high intelligence. I must be smart as fuck.
When's the last time you wrote someone a letter?
When I was in prison. No, I'm just kidding. When I was in the Army. Yeah, probably when I was in the Army. But anyway, let me tell you about this. We're going back to Florida again. A man in Tampa, Florida, is accused of going on a shooting spree in which he killed his mother's friend and wounded his mother and his teenage daughter before firing at the police officers last Wednesday. The man wrote a letter to his teenage daughter saying he wanted to have a romantic relationship with her before the shooting.
Murder by
How old is his daughter?
Murder by I'm going to tell you. The suspect, identified as 42-year-old Michael Banks, told police that he wrote a letter to his 17-year-old daughter insisting that she enter into a relationship with him and not date anyone else, right?
Sick.
Prior to the shooting, Banks' mother and her friend were in the family home discussing kicking Banks out after learning he was pursuing a romantic relationship with his daughter. Upon overhearing this discussion, Banks felt betrayed and upset. So he retrieved a revolver and brought it into the kitchen, where he then shot his mother, who was 60, and mother's friend, killing the friend. Then Banks shot a bullet that grazed his mother's head before going after his daughter, who was in the shower. All right. Banks' daughter told authorities that after hearing the gunshots from the bathroom, she tried to push the door to keep it closed, and Banks shot through it at head level.
Jesus.
I mean, they watched too many movies. As the teen ran from the home, Banks shot and wounded her leg. He then reloaded the revolver before exiting the residence through the back door. His mother, remember y'all, she shot in the head, called 911 around 12:42 p.m. on Wednesday, telling the cops that Banks had shot at her and her friend. Upon arrival, police found Banks' mother and daughter outside the home with gunshot wounds. With the reloaded revolver, Banks shot at officers and they returned fire, though no shot struck the suspect. Can't kill bad grass. No officers were injured, thank God, and Banks surrendered shortly after he shit his pants when he realized bullets were coming at him. No, he surrendered and was taken into custody. Police entered the residence and located the friend, who was pronounced dead at the scene, and Banks was arrested on an assload of charges, including murder.
That is absolutely insane.
Bro, what the fuck?
Was he?
The fuck?
Was there anything about a prior
No.
drug, mental, and
No, and guess what? I go, and like I tell you so many times, you don't have to have a criminal history or past or whatever just to do whatever. You know what I mean? People sometimes just lose their shit. And I mean, you want to have sex with your 17-year-old daughter, and maybe she can't have sex with anybody else, just with daddy.
That's disgusting.
That dude. I wish the cops had a better hand.
You think that? I mean, we're seeing this kind of thing all the time now. You think that it was always out there? It's just getting more attention now.
There are no more incidents like this now than there were 20 years ago. We just have social media.
That's right.
And instant news reporting. I'm telling you, I've worked cases like this, and it's just now instant, and everybody picks up one and it goes viral.
Yep.
I mean, this story, and Jim and I saw it like in 6 or 7 different things. I'm like, well, what the fuck? And it was everywhere on social media. I mean, what?
It just seems like we've got such drug problems in that like a lot of these crimes that are being committed are so egregious. They're so just beyond the pale that drugs have penetrated society at a level that that it's outside of our scope and our history to understand how bad the problem is.
Well, I mean, Nancy Reagan back in the 80s was saying just say no. Yeah. But I agree with what you're saying, but this dude didn't say anything about him being on dope. God. He's just a sick ass.
What drugs?
The daughter's going to be okay and the mother's going to be okay?
She got a wound leg and the mother caught a scratch to the head.
Wow.
But the friend is dead.
Yep. Crazy. Well, let's go back to Cali, but we're going to go to Southern Cali.
All right.
We're going to Orange County.
All right.
Truly one of the most beautiful spots in the U.S. of A. Big fan of Orange County.
Is that where San Diego is?
San Diego County. So Orange County is Newport Beach, the Huntington Beach, Laguna, those areas. So don't you watch the Housewives of Orange County?
I'm leaving here today.
The new season of Beverly Hills is going on right now.
You know, I've been shit out of all that.
We won't talk about that.
Tamara Barney.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I think she's all. Well, she came back on.
Yeah, she's on. She's back.
Daddy loves you, Kaylee. Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glaze, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something. All the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/reallife. That's GOBBLE.com/real-life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had.
Okay. So Orange County authorities on Friday detailed a crackdown on what they say, this is unbelievable to me, is an organized crime spree led by Romanian immigrants that target public assistance benefits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Common thing.
So authorities said 48 suspects have been arrested in the scheme, which involves mainly the cloning of electronic benefit transfer cards, EBT cards.
Well, you know what they were known back in the day.
Food stamps.
Grub stubs.
Okay.
It's the truth. That's what they call them on the street.
That might have been slang used back in the day. But electronic benefit transfers or EBT cards, or what what he just said.
Grove stuffs. Back in the day, there were actually stamps.
Yep.
Green stamps. Yep.
Have become the predominant method for delivering governmental benefits, such as food stamps, to recipients electronically. EBT cards work with point-of-sale machines. They work with ATMs all across the country. So basically, good as cash.
Really?
You can't get cash off of
You
them.
can't get cash.
No, you can get cash.
No. Listen to me. You got it confused. EBT for the food part.
No, you can't.
Listen. And that is the new grub stuffs, but the welfare part. Now that's different. That's public assistance also. The welfare can be used.
Yeah, that's what I'm
cash.
talking about.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. So
I
sorry if I
thought you were talking about grub stuff.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
I talked about both at the same time, but I understand that you can't get cash there, but other benefits you can get cash directly out of ATMs.
That is true.
So Orange County DA Todd Spitzer is calling on state lawmakers to adopt a new microchip technology that would make it tougher for crooks to clone the cards. Help us get the message out to create that, to protect those of us who are most vulnerable. And that's the sort of inverted piece of this, where this crime is not targeting the rich like a lot of crime does. This is targeting the poor. America is under siege, Spitzer said. When are we going to wake up and say enough is enough? They see the porousness of our borders and they exploit us. The state lost $108 million in benefits stolen to so-called skimming schemes last year. In this local crackdown in Orange County, they seized $185,000 in cash and 491 cloned EBT cards worth $471,000 in potential stolen cash. That's not including the food, whatever the value of the food would have been. There's a related case right now on trial in Santa Ana, which is in Orange County, for a 39-year-old guy named Florin Dujuanu. Dujuanu is the alleged leader of the Dujuanu clan, okay, a notorious Romanian crime syndicate that one FBI agent says is, quote, the most violent and influential organized crime group in Romania.
Sounds like the Coin Boys.
Dujuanu is facing a host. No, this is nothing like the Cowboys. A host of related charges on various schemes his organization is accused of perpetrating. And by the way, if your name is the brand of the crime family,
yeah,
you're probably guilty, right? The Dujuanu clan are the masters of identity theft. The D clan is responsible for massive amount of electronic benefit transfer theft across California. The average incident of an EBT card theft results in the loss of $1,850 in state benefits. So that's cash and whatever other items, right? Romania, a lot of people don't know this, but they get Budapest and Bucharest mixed up. But Budapest is in Hungary. Bucharest is in Romania.
Bucharest.
And is a major, major tech hub. So a lot of
the hackers and shit. I saw that.
A lot of development. I'm sure that's where these guys are coming from, and they're mastering this thing. And they're
look, as long as they can make technology to make it, they'll always have technology to hack it.
After it. Yeah,
and
true.
I think they're doing what they have to do, and that is try to continue to make things that are quote unquote hack proof. But man, if you can hack into the space shuttle, you can hack into anything. Yeah. It'll take them 3 weeks.
Criminals
to
always
figure it
step
out.
up their game.
Who hacked into the space shuttle?
I don't know, but I'm just
Somebody
using
did?
it as an example.
Somebody did?
Sure. Maybe me.
Somebody from
Coin Boys.
Booger Crest.
The Coin Boys could have done that.
Coin Boys could have done that.
But that's not a SpaceX.
No, I mean,
So
I don't know. I'm using.
Nobody's hacked Elon's.
It was
Mars
hyperbole,
ships.
Mike. It was hyperbole.
Oh, okay.
It was an example.
So astronauts don't panic. Apparently, the space shuttle is okay.
Back to the grub stuff thing. They call it the first of the month club. And listen to me. I personally have. And I'm not going to tell you whatever. It doesn't matter. There's so many people, great people that need assistance, right? And
100%.
And then there's the assholes, which I call the first of the month club. I'd go down in the neighborhoods on the first of the month, and they were standing out on the street, and they would literally sell. It used to be the green stamps. Then they would sell you their use of the card for 50 cents on the dollar.
Yeah,
and then you go buy ribeyes and shit like that. For half price.
Yeah.
But for
here they call it Louisiana purchase card.
Yeah. And but so many good people need it. And
absolutely.
It sucks that they're stealing from the poor.
Well, and apparently
really
these
does.
guys are also then taking merch, like they'll get a bunch of diapers, and they've got relationships directly with the cartels. They'll drive the diapers over into Mexico, sell them for profit to the cartels, who are obviously doing all the trafficking.
Crime time.
That's right.
Oh my!
Got us a mile high crime coming your way, and look, y'all, the hits just keep on coming for Boeing.
Oh,
just a few weeks ago, we brought you a mile high crime where a door plug blew off an Alaska Boeing 737 MAX 9 jetliner, and over the weekend, another issue for the leading manufacturer of airplanes. A Boeing 757 jet operated by Delta Airlines lost a nose wheel while preparing for takeoff from Atlanta. Delta Flight 982 headed to Bogota, Colombia, was taxiing for departure at the Atlanta International Airport when the incident took place around 11:15 a.m. on Saturday. The plane is 32 years old and not the same model as the 737 MAX that has raised safety concerns in recent years. All customers and their bags are removed from the aircraft, transferred to the gate, and onto a replacement aircraft. This from Delta. And they apologized to their customers for the inconvenience. Yeah. It was very inconvenient that the landing gear would not come down, right? The freaking wheel falls off. No one was injured, and the plane was retired and placed back into service the next day. 172 passengers, 2 pilots, and 4 flight attendants were on board. Now, that's a major thing. Boeing actually ended production of the 757 nearly 20 years ago.
I imagine that came from Colombia.
There have been a string of mishaps involving Boeing planes over recent years, but it's unclear who's to blame for the most recent incident because Delta is responsible for maintaining its planes. Since the door plug mishap, United Airlines has reported finding loose bolts and other problems in door panels of an unspecified number of other MAX 9s. Boeing CEO David Calhoun was in Washington on Wednesday to meet with lawmakers about the safety of the MAX 9. So let's talk about this for a minute, guys. Is Boeing responsible for this, or is Delta? Delta maintains the planes. The plane is, as you said, 32 years old. Yeah. Should lawmakers look at maybe having an age restriction on these planes?
I mean, I don't know about that, but whoever's flying the plane, if you take possession of it, let's say I take possession of a cop car, a brand new unit, and I notice it's pulling to the left, or I don't check my tires, whatever, and it breaks down. I don't know. That's not a good example. I believe if you're in possession of it and you're flying that fucker every day, you got mechanics. It needs to be checked out.
Yeah,
and so therefore it becomes your responsibility. Now, if it didn't get installed properly at the factory or something, but this plane is 32 years old. You ought to really be going over this plane with a fine tooth comb.
I agree, and that's where there's a lot of people that say, "Hey, once my car hits 100,000 miles, I'm trading it in because that's when problems start." Right? I mean, kind of the same thing with a plane. I would imagine once it hits 30 years old, are you going to start having wheels fall off no matter how much you maintain it?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's. Look, this is across industry and across global industry where you have companies that have leaned out their teams. They're operating with less people, asking more of those people every day. And if you are somebody assigned with servicing planes for Delta, and today that requires 50% more work for the same dollar as it required 5 years ago or 10 years ago, there's a certain amount of apathy that sets in naturally. And some of this has got to be shortcuts in what used to be meticulous, detailed process where, a plane didn't get on a runway if there was any kind of a light lit in the, and we just see this across everything. And I saw the other day where Airbus had surpassed Boeing for the first time ever in aggregate contract value. So they're sitting there today holding more orders for planes in value than Boeing has.
And I'm sure related to the problems.
Yeah, it's related to safety.
They've had, but
that made me not want to get on a fucking plane at all.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna share the picture. Look, shout out y'all to the pilot that landed this thing with no tire on the front.
That's crazy.
There's actually a video that I'm going to post from one of the passengers actually filmed the landing. It's pretty miraculous. And when you see the picture, thank God no one, 170 plus people on this flight. So there could have been a lot dead. Yeah. That shout out to the pilot for doing what he did. I thought that was a phenomenal job.
Interesting.
Mile high.
Hey, real quick, you know what?
Can't believe you did that one instead of the passenger who got kicked out for farting.
Colombia is.
I know.
That's a great story.
You know what Colombia is most famous for besides yayo?
What?
More yayo.
Emeralds.
Emeralds?
Yeah, the best, highest quality emeralds in the world.
Blood emeralds.
I was going to say
Blood emeralds, yeah.
Gloria Estefan.
No, I think she's from Miami.
She's Cuban.
She is. She's Cuban.
Cuban.
Okay, that's right.
I never really liked her
right.
shit anyway.
I
All right, but let's bring them some kinky crimes.
Kinky crimes.
Friday. Now, y'all, it takes all kinds to make the world go round. And here comes one from Indiana, where a woman became internet famous this week, earning the nickname Bottle Girl.
Bottle Girl.
Bottle Girl. And along the way has been charged with public nudity for her explicit videotape performance in a truck bed. Belinda Dabrowski, 24, is charged with her lewd public performance in a Terre Haute parking lot. Yeah, that's exactly
Terre Haute.
Terre Haute. Terre Haute, that sounds bad. As seen on an X-rated viral video, which was shot after the close of a concert at the fair, Dabrowski removed her dress as various onlookers filmed her standing naked. We'll just call her Miss D. Miss D is then seen engaging in explicit sexual acts with liquor bottles. She is
That's why they call her Bottle Girl.
And hey, check this out. At one point, she was helped and aided by 2 unidentified men. In performing the acts. Okay,
Bottle man.
The graphic activity is met by
Jack Daniels and Jim Beam.
By hoots from Jack Daniels, if you please. Right. Anyway, the graphic activity is met by hoots from an approving crowd of guys. One of whom claims, "This is awesome." Terre Haute cops began investigating the clip after it began circulating online this week. After identifying Mrs. D and determining when the video was filmed, cops charged her with misdemeanor public nudity. Mrs. D waived formal arraignment and had a hearing date set by a judicial officer. Mrs. D does not appear overly concerned about the fallout from her alcohol-fueled performance, and she sought suggestions on her Facebook page, which should appear on a proposed T-shirt, though she did react at negative comments posted to her sister's Facebook page. Anyone has something to say to my sister about this shit, say it to me. Leave her out of this. I'll fuck someone up, Mrs. D wrote. Anyway.
Hey, you don't want to mess with Bottle Girl.
Right?
Yeah.
So we usually in such an event would have some photo assistants there.
So Jim got the
might be a photo on the back of Bottle Girl.
Okay.
We'll put that on.
I kind of have a problem with this, to be honest with you.
On the Facebook page.
I have a problem with this.
Why?
So the cops got nothing fucking better to do than go find a viral video after it's been released.
Well, what has happened is someone reported it.
Yeah, probably.
Somebody said they got a girl, in Terre Haute.
We down here in Terre Haute
making love to a Jack Daniels bottle.
We're down here in Terre Haute making love to
yeah. Bottle Girl in the house.
There you go.
That
kinky
is kinky.
Crimes for Friday. Got arrested after the fact. I fucked you up.
Bottle Girl.
This is
you don't mess with Bottle Girl.
banjos.
Oh, banjos.
Oh, better be banjos. Banjos?
It's a Friday, dumb criminals.
Uh-oh,
Right.
those are always good.
I hate to disappoint those of you who figured Friday would include a poetic justice.
There you go.
This week does not. But instead, we're going back in the Real Life, Real Crime Daily time machine
All right.
to 1983. Our story happens.
That was a good year for me.
Our story happens during the most important week of any year,
Mardi Gras.
Ricky Henderson's drafted.
Super Bowl.
Hell Week.
Oh, God, I've been there.
The plans for the week had been meticulously thought out by the brain trust at our nameless fraternity that rhymes with Spike at an undisclosed prestigious private university in the South called Spanderspilt. Hell Nights mark the end of Hell Week and often involve acts of debauchery so extreme that Real Life, Real Crime Daily decorum prohibits mentioning them here. But Hell Night 1983 at the Spike House would set the all-time low bar for such events. Akeem Anavoga was president of the chapter, and at 8 p.m. Central Time, he fired off the cannon to commence the festivities. First up were some basic games of survival, like Pledge Donkey Kong, where pledges had to successfully navigate to the top of a multi-level spiral staircase while frat brothers threw empty beer kegs down the stairs into their path.
That's actually pretty good.
If they survived Donkey Kong, they made it to the mini marathon, where they would run a designated course through campus and sorority row while naked. The events continued, each one more ridiculously childish than the one prior. The evening culminated in a scavenger hunt that would take pledges all over Snashville as they competed to gather a list of items, each with its own point value. Teams of two went along with their big brothers to accrue items with a total value of 500 points before they could return to the frat house. Easy to accomplish tasks like getting a signed bra or pair of panties from a sorority hottie might be worth 10 points, but really hard to get items could be worth as much as 100 points or even more. Akeem Anavoga had won this event as a pledge, and then his little brother had won it each of the next 2 years, so he had a legacy to uphold. 3 years straight,
All right.
he'd won it. His team had failed to obtain some items they had targeted, and time was becoming a major factor. Fearing that his team was behind and his legacy was in jeopardy, Akeem made an executive decision. They were a mere 100 points away from goal when he instructed a pledge from Baltimore to pull in next to a police cruiser parked outside a Wendy's near campus. Last-minute instructions were provided to the pledges as they waited for the two officers to exit the Wendy's and enter the parking lot. As the officers walked toward the cruiser, two pledges exited the vehicle and approached them. In the moment, all that was heard was the command, "Get on your knees." In no time at all, the pledges were cuffed and sitting on the curb as the officers then instructed Akeem and his friend Rold to exit the vehicle. Apparently, the pledges had explained to the officers that they were attempting to get them to agree to come back to the fraternity house in their cruiser and come inside to chug a beer while still on duty. They explained that this activity was worth 100 points to the team. So if they could get two cops while they were on duty to come into the house and chug a beer, that was worth 100 points. As Officer Fontaine was putting Akeem into handcuffs, he asked him to take a look at the back of the vehicle the four students had been driving. As Akeem looked back, he recalled that they had to close the trunk of the car with rope because it was overflowing with scavenger hunt items. The lower torso of a mannequin was prominently visible hanging out of the trunk, as was a Printer's Alley street sign and the flag from the 18th hole of Snashville's most prestigious golf club. Thus ended my streak of scavenger hunt victories, and as we drove off toward the precinct, I could hear the sound of banjos coming through the cruiser's radio.
Yeah, you gotta have it. You gotta have it. I'm partaking, Swim's partaking in all those. But,
Pledge Donkey Kong.
yeah, Swim's
We
partaking.
did Pledge Space Invaders too, which was
We did
even more fun
all that shit.
than Donkey Kong.
But I don't think most people would get that nowadays.
You know what Akeem Anavoga spelled backwards is?
But do tell.
Well, if Akeem is E-K-I-M.
I got it. Mike Agravina.
Yeah, so
You know what Red Rum spelled backwards is?
Murder. You know what a flock. You know what a. Do you know
guys
what
are
a.
about to murder that story.
Do you know what a flock of crows is called? Murder.
Yes. Everybody knows now. We let the cat out of the bag.
Oh, all right.
All right. Any final thoughts, Woody?
No, I got absolutely nothing. Have a great weekend. We love y'all.
Yep. Mike, no final thoughts? I would take that as a no.
I'm thinking hard.
I smell his head. His head's on fire.
I have no final thoughts.
Well, while you think, until next time,
Enjoy
I'm
your
Jim
football
Chapman.
weekend.
I'm Woody Everson.
Don't go to Oakland this weekend.
Yeah, no shit.
For real life, for real crime daily. Peace.
Congrats.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.